too, Coach.
Bet.
Look, it's that year, right? 2020 in Detroit. They got all kinds of problems with COVID. Their interim is now going to have an interim. So, what can you say just about that situation there as you head into this game?
We throw out all the tendencies for sure. You got new play callers on both sides of the ball, and so it's just let's go play football. And it's a shame. I hate that would happen to anybody. Knock on wood, our guys have been great again, and it's tough enough taking care of ourselves without worried about other people. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And then last week, you had your specialist and had to bring in specialists, and your guys couldn't have been fun for them. BA sitting in a hotel room for 5 days away from their families. What about just the mental toughness of those guys to go through it and come out of it and be as good as they've been all year long for you?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, thank God it was all false positives, and and it worked out great for them. I laud the guys that came in and sat in the hotel room that might have replaced them. One of them got poached already, and so it is crazy times, and I can't wait to get to 2021 and hope there's better things.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go to Greg Allman.
Bruce, I just want to ask you about your cornerback situation. We haven't seen Carlton this week, so if he can't go, just want to ask you how much that's been tested here in the last month with injuries to multiple guys at corner.
Yeah, we finished the half. We finished the half with the group that's going to start. If he can't go, he's going to be a game time decision. So we've got at least a half of football. We've got a number of movable parts, guys on defense that could play a number of positions. So we won't be shorthanded. Herbie Miller, if Carlton's down, Herbie Miller come up off the practice squad.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, we'll go to Jen Lane.
Hey, Coach. First of all, Merry Christmas, and appreciate you doing this.
You bet. Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too. This is kind of along the lines of something you had already mentioned about preparing for the Lions. When you have a defensive coaching staff that is so bare on the other side of the ball, how do you even begin to kind of go about preparing for them game plan? I mean, I know you have your things that you do well on offense and everything, but does that make it a lot more challenging when you don't really know their tendencies?
Yes and no. They're not going to change the defense. They're going to run the same thing that's on film. Just who's calling it, whatever blitz tendencies they might have. You have to be ready for anything. And really, when you're playing a team that's out of the playoffs, you got to be ready for anything anyway. And they're going to throw the kitchen sink at you to try to win the ball game. And you have to expect the unexpected, as Coach Bryant used to say, and be ready for anything.
What do you think the biggest lesson that your team was able to take from this past week? Again, falling behind 17-0, and then to come roaring back in the second half the way they didn't lose their composure. What do you think the most important lesson or thing that they took away from that experience was that they can apply going forward?
Oh, there's a ton of trust. There's a ton of trust in each other, offense, defense, special teams, that whatever it takes to get the game won, we'll finally get it won. It's the second time we come back from a huge deficit this year and won a ball game. We came close a couple of times, but there's a lot of trust in our locker room.
Thank you.
We'll go to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Bruce, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you about your team with 2 games left. What have you learned about the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year so far?
Extremely resilient, very adaptable, very committed to each other. Just looking at the COVID stuff, what we have not had to experience because of guys, their commitment to each other and commitment to the cause of getting to a chance to have a shot at the world championship.
And then has there been any surprises about this team, whether they be good or bad this year that you have seen kind of pop up?
Yeah, there's a number of surprises. Ross Cockrell's been a surprise. I knew he was a good player, played against him, but man, he's been a great addition to our ball club. Mm-hmm. I think all the new people buying into the culture that is here and getting used to it and just buying in, being a part of it. It's been great.
Thank you, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to Ira Kaufman.
Hey, Bruce, by the time you hit the field in Detroit, the Saints could have the division wrapped up if the Saints win. And if you take care of business, Bruce, would you be inclined to rest some guys in week 17, or are you more about momentum going into the postseason?
Yeah, it's something we'll look at what possibly can change. If we're locked into a spot, I wouldn't be against maybe resting a couple of guys, but we're still going out to win the ball game.
And Bruce, when you see what your team's capable of doing for a second half or over an extended period, how excited does that get you about what happens if this team could ever put it all together in the playoffs?
Yeah, it does. It gets me really excited. You know, the middle part of the Minnesota game got me extremely excited when we finished the half and came back and got 17 points there in a matter of 6 or 7 minutes. And then what we did in the second half, this team keeps me excited every day. I love coaching this football team. It's a great group of guys.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, we'll go over to Sarah Walsh.
Hey, Bruce, can you just give us some perspective? I know going into this season, there's like contingencies to the contingencies to the contingencies, but on a short work week as it is, with Christmas and you're juggling families, can you just, I know it's not happening to you guys, but can you just give us some perspective of sort of the chaos of just the planning that Detroit would have to go through when you're, you know, on backups to backups to backups and guys that haven't called plays, just like from a scheduling situation, if that's you as the head coach having to handle all that, can you just sort of give us the perspective on what they might be going through dealing with that?
Yeah, I'm sure Darryl has done a good job of continuing all the same schedules that they've had. They've had a Christmas schedule probably mapped out for a while. Now, you never know when you start losing players because, I mean, they took the punter off the plane in Jacksonville, and it's like this is the craziest year ever. But, you know, one man's injury, just like a player, one man's injury is another man's opportunity. So some guys are going to get a chance to audition for some heavy-duty jobs as coordinators if they do a good job in this ball game, the way I look at it. So we're expecting their best stuff.
We have time for a few more. We'll go to Steve Isbitz.
Coach, Mike Evans is about 220 yards from hitting that 1,000-yard mark and setting a new NFL record. Is that something in the back of your mind as this game goes along? And is it something maybe you've talked about with your quarterback?
It's something in my mind. You know, I have not talked to the quarterback. I don't want the quarterbacks forcing things. But, yeah, it's in my mind. I mean, when guys have a chance to, in the history of the NFL, make something happen, you want to see it happen. And, yeah, I would love for Mike to get that record.
And what would the celebration look like for you, Coach, on Saturday afternoon? What is that like? Or would you not celebrate and wait till the end of the season?
Yeah, there's a moment of celebration to know you're in the dance. You know, there's still another game to play, and then we'll celebrate at the end of the year. But it's always fun. I mean, I'm not sure they pass out hats and T-shirts at this one, but those hats and T-shirts, they go in the closet, but they're fun for about 24 hours.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll go over to Mark Cook.
Hey, Coach, Governor DeSantis this week announced that the next round of the vaccinations that are getting to Florida, he would like to see go to people 65 and older. I know that you fall into that age group. Where are you as far as your eagerness to take this vaccine, you and maybe some of your staff members, or is that something you've even thought about at this point?
Oh, yeah. I'm very eager. I want Tom Moore to get it first. You know, he's 82, and but I can't wait to have a chance to possibly get vaccinated.
And also, I'm sorry if maybe you answered this and I missed it. Any word on Ronald Jones? Is he definitely out for Saturday? Yes, he is. He cannot get through the protocol in time. Okay. Thanks, Coach. Merry Christmas.
All right, we'll close out with one question from Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach. You kind of mentioned this a little bit with Mark asking about COVID-19 and everything. It's been a tough year for a lot of people and a lot of people that follow your team. What would it mean for you to be able to bring them some much needed joy this year with a trip to the playoffs?
Oh, it would mean everything. It would mean everything. It's just a shame that we haven't had the fans in the stadium this year because we all know how rocking it would have been with those games that we had at home, and it might have helped a little bit more. I think sometimes a great crowd is worth at least 3 points, and I think we would have had great crowds. And it'd be awesome to break in the new year with the playoffs and getting the city excited.
Thank you.
That's all for today. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.